we can build on the progress we've made.
Really? They made progress? Unemployment's higher now than when he took office, probably because he increased the burden of government. Federal spending's up by billions of dollars, and Obama's bureaucrats added thousands of pages of new regulations. Now we're up to, this represents 170,000 pages of rules. Each one is an assault on opportunity and personal freedom. But maybe I'm too negative. Let's get an expert look at what the election meant for freedom from our all-star panel. David Bose of the libertarian think tank the Cato Institute, Hadley Heath of the Independent Women's Forum, and columnist DeRoy Murdoch. So, DeRoy, you first. Some good news here?
I guess there's a little. Mainly, I'm baffled at what happened. I really didn't think Obama would get back in with the record that he presented, but I think there is some good news in the Senate. One of the people who won...
yeah, just before you go there, before the election, we said, what do you want to say? You said, it's vital that this not be a slight Republican win, but a crushing defeat for Obama. We need to discredit socialism in the U.S. for a generation.
Yeah, well, that didn't work, did it?
Didn't work.
That's
all right, but the good news.
The good news. Jeff Flake won a Senate seat
That's good news.
Arizona. He's a terrific free market champion. He's one of the biggest opponents of pork barrel spending. He's well-spoken, very intelligent. And,
who else?
I think Ted Cruz in Texas also. A very bright man, a terrific speaker, happens to be Hispanic. I think that's something that's very positive. I think Republicans are going to have to figure out some way of speaking with Hispanic voters, and having Hispanic senators like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, I think, will help in that regard.
But why is this libertarian audience applauding? He's anti-gay marriage. He wants to grow the military. He supports building a wall on the Mexican border, tripling the size of the Border Patrol.
Well, he's also somebody who believes in cutting taxes, limiting spending, balancing the budget, not creating boxes of regulations. So is he a perfect, ideal, Reason Magazine type senator? Maybe not, but certainly much
Why not?
alternative.
Hadley, what's some of the bad news and good news?
Okay, at the state level, I'll go with the good news first. Several states passed some ballot initiatives to say, up yours to Obamacare. Alabama, Wyoming, Montana, they all said citizens of our state will not be compelled to participate in the health care system. And Missouri, the citizens there voted to say, we're not going to have a health care exchange here per the Affordable Care Act.
The feds could still compel it, but it will be harder.
Right, but I think this indicates that the citizens of Missouri are thinking about this issue correctly, that it's a bureaucracy at the state level, regardless of if it's the state or the feds. It's a bureaucracy. It's not a marketplace.
And the bad news?
Well, the bad news in terms of ballot initiatives, there were a handful of bad news things across the country. I was watching this Oregon ballot initiative that would phase out the estate tax or the death tax. The estate tax is something that's going to come up again this year because it's part of the Bush tax cuts on the federal level, but that initiative failed 53% to 46%.
David Bose, some other good news?
Well, besides the marriage and marijuana initiatives and the health care initiatives, I think that can be taken as a sign that there are a lot of libertarian-leaning voters, libertarian instincts in the public, and so maybe it's not just that they loved Obama, it's that the Republicans have really driven away independents and centrists and suburbanites with a lot of their social policies.
And in the House of Representatives,
there's some interesting people in the House of Representatives, several people who kind of come out of the Ron Paul movement. Thomas Massie in my home state and Rand Paul's state of Kentucky. There's another guy who
he won 62% to 35%.
Well, that's right. That's a very Republican district. His big challenge was winning the primary, which he did. Justin Amash won his first re-election up in Michigan. That was good. That
also won big.
That's right, and he was thought to be threatened. There's another guy, Kerry Bentivolio in Michigan, kind of came out of nowhere, out of some strange circumstances. He's a fan of Ron Paul, so that's good.
These are real libertarians. Amash is known as Mr. No, has a record of voting against Republicans and Democrats. Massie opposed the Patriot Act, warrantless wiretapping, the drug war, military.
I look forward to working with these people, and I think there are some other examples. Young Americans for Liberty, I believe, endorsed Ted Yoho in Florida, who's new, and also a lot of the Rand Paul, and he won, and a lot of the Rand Paul people in Kentucky, like Andy Barr, who won an upset race in Lexington, Kentucky for Congress. So there are a few people there, and that'll be good.
Thank you, David, Hadley, DeRoy. Coming up, the presidential candidate I voted for joins us.